Good day and welcome to the Learn Python programming series. Today we're going to be looking at basic operations and inputs. Now, in the previous tutorial, we learned about data types and also how to output our data types to the screen using the print function. Today, let's head on to today's task. So, in the previous tutorial, I taught you how to declare variables. So, in today's tutorial, let's just start with strings and declaring variable. So let's collect the variable first name is equals to Isaac and last name is equal to Victor. Okay, now we have two of these declared on the screen. We have two variables here, so let's just print. Now I want to print the both of these variables together. You know, the previous tutorial we've just been printing one variable. So to print that to the screen, you just have to type that first name, comma, last name. Now use the comma to separate the variables which we have. Now if you do that, F5, okay, we'll save that. You would see we have Isaac Victor printed out to the screen. So it went ahead and printed first name, which is Isaac, and then it printed last name, which is what? Victor, to the screen. Okay, let's say you wanted to have a full name instead of printing the both of these together. You wanted to just have a variable named full name and it has both Isaac and Victor together. So how do we do that? Just declare the variable full name is equal to, okay, so you see first name plus last name. Now this is called string concatenation because we are using the plus operator to add the strings together. Okay, now if you do this way, I'm just going to show you what it's going to look like. So let's say full name. It's not going to be very pretty. Okay, you can see Isaac Victor together. There's no space, as you can see. So to add that space, you have to add this with another string. Now what do you add to add this with? You add this with a null string that has just a space, okay, so you can see the space here, and this is also what? A string containing what? The space character. Now full name plus this space will give a space, then you just plus that with the last name. Okay, so if we run this again, you will now see that Isaac Victor is printed out and there is a space in between this place. Okay, now that being said, let's move on to the next stuff. So if you want to perform other operations are also supported in strings. Now let's declare a new string. Let's say fruit is equal to, let's see, an orange. We have an orange. Okay, now let's say fruit. Let's just print that out to the screen. Print fruit. Now if we run that, that's normal. You can see an orange there. Now let's do something else. Let's say another variable. Let's just be declaring different variables for the fruit. I'm going to say F1. Let's say is equals to fruit dot upper. Now what does that do? We're going to find out. So let's also go out in the screen and print F1 after printing fruit out to the screen. Now if we run this, okay, you can see we have orange here. The O is in uppercase and the range is in lowercase, but in this one we're having orange in uppercase. That is what this upper does. Okay, you can go ahead and declare another variable. F2 is equals to fruit dot lower. Now remember, I'm using this parenthesis because this is a function which tends to change the string to an uppercase, and this is also the same here. So this instead changes it to a lowercase. So let's go ahead and print F2 to the screen. Print F2. Okay, now F5 and then press enter to run that. And you can see we have F2 to be all in lowercase. Okay, now there are a ton of functions which you can do with strings. We're going to be discussing just a few of them in today's tutorial. So let's declare another one. Let me shift my print a little bit down here. Okay, So let's declare f3 to be equal to fruit dot. Now I'm going to do something here. Let's give a space after orange. Okay, now let me print that out. F5, you can see there's a space here. Now let me do something. I'll say f3 is equals to fruit dot strip. Now what this does is that it removes all the spaces and blank spaces in the string. So if we go ahead and print f3, it will not have that space, beginning space I gave it. So f5, okay. Now you can see the rest of them have spaces, but the strip removed the spaces from the string. Okay, now there are a ton of functions that you can do with strings. Another important one is the start with. You can see fruit dot starts. Let's say starts with. Now we know it starts with O. So if it starts with O, it's going to return a true, else it's going to return a false. So this starts with returns a bool or a boolean value. So if we run this, okay, we didn't print that out to the screen. So let's go ahead and print F4 or let's run out F5. Okay, so you can see it is false. Now why is it false? Because it has a space here. So if we just go ahead and remove that space, Ctrl S, F5, and run this again, you can see it is now having true. Okay, so let me just reduce this because this is starting to look awful. So we've defined a lot of functions here. So where do you go if you want to learn more about or you want to explore more about the strings? Now you can come here and declare a variable. Notice this is an interactive shell. You can see where my cursor is at. So anything you type here is actually recorded. Okay, so you can come here and declare a variable. Let's say name is equals to Alexander. Okay, so now you know name is of type what? String. Now you can type name down here. Dot. As you could notice, I was using dot to access all those functions. Now I left this. After pressing dot, that didn't magically appear. Just wait for it and it will appear this way. Now you can see a lot of functions: capitalize, case full, center, count, and I wouldn't want to cover all that in this tutorial. So if you want to explore more, this is a great place to explore. So I'll leave that to you. That's great. Okay. So now we're going to be looking at string integers before we check out how to collect inputs from user. So let's continue with that. So let's declare a variable x to be equals to 10 and a variable y to be equals to 5. Okay, now there are a lot of operators that we can, or operations that we can carry out on integers, such as addition, multiplication, division, modulus, raised to the power, and so on. Okay, so let's just explore a few of them in this tutorial. Now I'm going to make a variable named operation, or let's just say OP to be equals to operation. Okay, to be equals to x plus y. Now we can go ahead and print OP. Now remember, I've just assigned OP as a variable to be equal to x plus y. Now this is the add operation in integers. Remember, in the strings it just join them together, but in integers it has to add them. So 5 plus 10 will give us a 15. So let me close this shell and run this again. F5. Okay, now let me move the shell to the right. Now you can see 15 is the output. If we change this operation to minus, it's going to give us 10 minus 5, and that will be, as you can see, 5 is printed out to the screen. 10 minus 5 is definitely 5. You can do the division sign. It's good to know that once you divide, you're going to be having a floating number, so it's 2.0. We can do multiplication also. F5. You can see 10 times 5 is 50. Now I'm going to remove this 5, or let's just clear this out. I'm leaving only x, so I'll perform a lot of functions here. Now let's leave this space out. Now let's just declare another variable, say var is equals to, now you can see x. What does this do? This raises 10 to the power of 2, or it raises x to the power of what? 2. Since x is 10, this is going to give us 10 times 10, which is going to be 100. Now if we print var out to the screen, we press F5, OK. You can see that is 100. Now if we want to raise it to the power of 3, you just have to change that to 3. So it's going to give us 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1000. So once we press F5, you can see we're having 1000. You change that to 4, you're going to have another value, which is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Now that is great. The next one I'm going to show you is the modulus function. In integers, you can use x modulus. Now you can give a number, say 2. Now what this does, let's run that and see the output. We are seeing 0 is the output here. What this does is it's going to check how many times x is divisible by 2 and gets only the remainder. So 10, 2 can go into 10 5 times with no remainders. Now if we put a number like 3, 3 goes into 10 about 3 times. That's 9, that's 3, 3, 6 plus 3, 9. So we're left with 1, which is the remainder. So if it's just going to return the remainder, which is 1. So once we run this, you would see 1 is the remainder. Now would you guess the output if we put 4 here? Let's run that and see. If you said 2, you are correct, because the output here is just 2. Okay, now you can explore more and try different things in these operations here. There are a lot of modules that can be used for a lot of integer calculations, such as the maths library. If you want to explore more on that, I will be doing that in future tutorials. But if you're very intuitive about it, you can also check that out. So this will be where I'll be stopping for integer values. Now I'm going to declare something. Name is equals to let's say Jeremy, and then Jeremy is old, so he's going to be 34 years old. Okay, so now I know you've been declaring variables this way, and it's not very exciting to declare variables this way. I'm sorry for that. Okay, let me move this to this side. Now what if you wanted to collect these variables from the user? Now let me not rush things up. Let's just start with the name. Now there's a function in Python which is known as input. Now you can put input if you don't want to declare this field all by yourself. You can use the input function and make sure you open and close the parentheses, and then let's just run this and see how it's gonna function. So as you can see, nothing is happening. That's because your cursor is waiting for you to enter a value, and once I enter a value, you see it returns back. Now nothing happens. Now let's go ahead and see if our value has been collected by pressing print name. Okay, 23 is not a valid name, so I shouldn't have done that. That's because you didn't tell me what to put there, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now we can press F5. Okay, and once I enter anything I want to enter here, you can see that gets printed out to the screen, which means it was stored. Okay, now there's a way to tell the user what to enter. Now in this input, you can put your string here. You can say enter your name. Notice I'm giving a space here just for better output. Now you can just press F5 and you can see enter your name. Here I'm going to just put Victor. At least now I know what to enter, and you see Victor is printed out to the screen. Now let me show you how to do a little string formatting. Instead of printing out name to the screen, let's just do welcome. Now I'm going to put curly braces, and I'm just going to come here and do dot format. Now I'm going to put name. Now what this is basically doing, you can put this as 0 or you can leave it this way. Now this curly braces is used for declaring a space where we can enter our variable. Now this dot format is giving us what we are going to enter there, and in this case we are entering name. Okay, now if you don't understand this, you can still go ahead and do print welcome, comma, then you leave a space here, and then you put Victor, or you can just do a string concatenation and give it a variable of welcome. I hope this is not too confusing for you. So I'm going to use the first one, welcome, Victor, and then let's just run that. It shouldn't be Victor, it's a variable you put there that matters. So let's say Jeremy. See, welcome, Jeremy. Now, isn't that great? Let's check something else out. We've collected the name. Now let's define a field for age. So say age is supposed to input. Same way, enter your age. Now this is where this gets interesting. You can give a space and say let's just leave it this way because I don't want to be printing welcome Jeremy, you are 34 years old. That sounds weird. So I'm going to come down here and print, just for this tutorial's sake, just for you to see that happens. Your age is, or you are, you do this. This is for accepting the field, old. Now what are we going to fill in this space here? We're going to fill the person's age. So we put dot format what? We're going to put the age there. Now let's run this application. F5. Okay, what is your name? Let me close this and start it out again. F5, F5. Okay, now enter your name, Adams, and Adams is 23. Okay, I press restart a lot of times, so I think that's why this is happening. So let me close out on this, or let me just enter this. Okay, so you can see this is working. Adams is here, and 23, you are 23 years old. Now when this accepts the age input, it actually accepts it as a string. Okay, so what if we wanted to increase the person's age, maybe year by year, we want to check the person's age? You don't want to be having the age as an string type, as a string type. So for example, let me print out print. Now there's a keyword in Python for checking the type of a variable. It is called type. You can see it's purple to show that it's a keyword. So you can press this, the parentheses. Now just give the variable you want. So in this case, I'm giving age, and let's run that. Actually, we have to enter these variables because you can see here it is of class string. So we don't want that. Now to make that to be valid and to have the age as integer, we have to do what is called casting. So what I have just done here is, now what I did here, you can notice this is an input, enter your age. Okay, if I remove that, you can see this is of type what? Integer. Now I'm putting that in here, which means I'm converting it to an integer type. Now make sure your braces are well covered. This brace goes to this brace here, and this brace here goes to this brace here. So you know that that is well covered. If not, you're going to be having errors. Now let's F5 that. Now enter your name. I'm going to put Steven, and Steven is 14, and you can see it's of type integer now, so that's correct. Now, welcome Steven. You are 14 years old. And one more thing I'm going to do before the end of this tutorial is I will reformat the way this enter your age looks. So enter your age, we're going to put a column and then a space. So let's run that. Enter your name, I'll just say Samuel, and enter your age. That's correct now, and put 15, and you can see welcome Samuel, you are 15. You are 15 old. Oh, let's put you are 15 years old, and hopefully you can rerun that and try that. And that will be the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like it and click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.